So Barrett, we're here today to talk about the iconic Steve radio campaign that did so well for FNB. It's proved to be one of the most successful campaigns in the history of advertising in South Africa. We just want to break it down and maybe into 5 points about why it was so successful. And I know in discussions you and I have had, one of the key elements was the sort of soap opera slice of life aspect of it.
Well, I think the key ingredient in any good advertising is having a story. And in sharing that story, and I think that's what people generally get interested in the Steve ads. It was a bit of a soap opera that we came up with, and every sort of ad was a different story, a different take on a different slice of life. A lot of it was from my own personal experience in terms of customer frustration being on one end and being on the other end in terms of the market and saying, but we have the solution. So the key for Steve was that every ad was different. Every ad was about another adventure in his life. And in his life, he met another frustrated customer, and the solution was our banking products.
How important was it through the whole campaign that you hung the whole thing on this one identity, this one key character?
Well, I think consistency is always good. People, you spend a lot of money in marketing and advertising trying to get people to identify your brand. Now, often in radio, people can become a bit schizophrenic and they have different station IDs or whatever it is. With Steve, we made sure we stuck to a formula. There were a couple of rings in the beginning. The beep bank was always beeped out the same way. And so as soon as those ads started, people knew what they were listening to. And I think that was vital for us.
What you're alluding to there are sonic triggers in a way. So just talk about the ones. I think Beep Bank was obviously a very, very important one. And then even the telephone ring was the same.
Yeah, well, it's a lesson I learned many years ago in radios. I think most people identify the Cadbury's Kit Kat snapping sound, the Pentium Intel sound. The people, as soon as you hear them, it sort of invokes a memory of some sort. So it was very important for us to use the consistency of the ring. So the one that also said it was Steve phoning, and Steve was the gateway to a conversation. So people would start listening. It was repeated the same way, the same amount of times. The Beep Bank was very important that we made it the sound so people actually could insert their own bank's name. When they started hearing the content, they'd identify with it. So in a way, it allowed us to do comparative advertising without comparison. And we stuck to that formula for basically 2 years.
I know right in the beginning the media was like quite a big issue because you really did smash the 30-second mindset. Perhaps you can just elaborate for us?
Yeah, I've never really been a big fan of shortened commercials. And if you're going to be a storyteller, you need to tell the story beginning, middle, and end. And it's very important that you get an ad should be as long as it takes to get that story across. And the very first ad that we did with Steve was actually 84 seconds long, and it was a bit of no man's land. So we made the decision to stick with it and to see how it went. And the plus side of that is when any ad flighted, you dominated that ad break. So 2 other ads couldn't flight if there were 3 ads in each 30 seconds. And it became a formula we used very well and very consistently. We eventually broke them down, kept them down to 60 in terms of making our own media planning a little bit easier. But that was a key ingredient for us.
I know that a lot of marketers will immediately go, oh, 60 seconds, people are going to get bored, etc., etc. But I know that people weren't bored for it. Can you maybe just share with us as to why you think that was?
Well, I go back to the same thing, the storytelling and the slice of life. And humour. Humour is very important in the Steve campaigns, and very much so something that FNB is always traded on. And if the story is very interesting and compelling, people will listen. I mean, one of the lessons I learned in radio years ago is the groceries should melt. That's how entertaining radio should be.
So you've also mentioned, Barrett, the media plan. Just elaborate for us on that.
Well, you can imagine if you're not trading in 30-second commercials, media planning becomes a vital ingredient in the success of the campaign. So we had to make sure we managed it. Now, you could imagine that traditionally radio's sort of booked on the Telmar sort of run, and we even had it in the beginning where someone made a mistake on the media side, is that the same ad played the same ad break every day, and that happened on 702. You could quickly get advertising wear out. So the spot plan was very important to us, that we made an even number of spots so it would rotate through the day. Because we knew what we were booking gave us leverage to negotiate better rates. And when we did Singing Steve, I don't know if people recall that, we therefore went to all the stations beforehand and managed to negotiate a lot of added value because it was something interesting in their programming. So we stuck very close to what we were planning. We didn't just rely on a computer spreadsheet to tell us what to plan. We made sure that some of the ads actually fitted into that time slot, or even some of the ads even identified with the on-air radio personality. So the media was a key ingredient for us, and one that when you understand the whole schedule, you're allowed to negotiate a lot better.
Results?
Basically, it's no secret that we managed to switch over 1.5 million customers while we had the Steve campaign. It was the catalyst for all our marketing to converge. So it allowed us to, our online advertising to be the same. So allowed for consistency, which said we got more bang for our buck. And it really focused all the marketers in on a sort of a winning strategy that we could all then re-articulate into the numbers. But the most important thing for us is that we came from number 3 spot to number 2, and we've been putting a lot of pressure on number 1, and in many instances we are now number 1.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. McDonald. I'm Steve from Bank.
Steve,
I want...
Miles, it's Steve from B-Bank.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We were waiting for
Guitar.
I'd like to tell you...
Guitar. Steve, we wrote a song for you, bro.
Okay.
Are you ready? No, just listen. 3, 4, 1. You never gave me free internet banking and e-bucks to pay for my gas.
It's very nice,
and
but...
a handy cell phone app that I can check Forex on my own.
Mr. McDonald...
From my smartphone.
Excuse me.
Got enough credit to buy a nice guitar, so I wrote you this song. But thank you.
Whoa, what are we thanking him for?
Well, actually, can I interest you guys in...
Nothing. Why should I thank you if you're not the bank who helps me when I need it? So, Steve, you
yes.
promised me this, you promised me that.
Mr. McDonald, I'd just like to...
Then it all fell flat. Then I changed banks, so Steve, no thanks.
Excuse me, guys...
Go and sing it with us now, Steve! Ba ba beep beep bang bang, Steve. Now we're with FNB.
Excuse me.
Your good friend Stan, your cousin Ned. I
You know
don't
Ned?
believe a word they said so. Ba ba beep beep.
Well, I'm trying to tell you about Bank. Oh, never mind. Goodbye.
FNB. How can we help you? A division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider. Terms and conditions apply.